And coming up, fights and arrests in downtown D.C. ABC 7 with live team coverage near Black Lives Matter Plaza as Trump supporters clash with other groups tonight. Plus, America just days away from a coronavirus vaccine being distributed nationwide. The action at the CDC today that will help get doses rolled out. And a live look outside after some gorgeous weather across the DMV today. But now we're talking about snow in the forecast. The news at 10 starts right now.
From WJLA 24/7 News, this is 24/7 News at 10. On your side, we begin with a breaking news alert.
That breaking news right now at 10, fights and several arrests in downtown D.C. after a day full of rallies for President Trump. Police out in full force tonight trying to break up some of those clashes. Now, ABC 7 is the only local news station to have this bird's eye view of Black Lives Matter Plaza. We captured several fights as the crowds filtered through tonight. 7 on your side has also learned at least one officer was hurt on the job. And just in the last hour, police set up a perimeter near the protesters. ABC 7 has team coverage of the day's events, starting with Kevin Lewis live near Black Lives Matter Plaza. And Kevin, what have you seen out there today?
So, Carl, I was covering the pro-Trump protests back on November 14th. The crowd during the day was much larger, but the crowd tonight, at night, is much larger and much more violent. This is the scene here at K and 16th Street. We are on the pro-Trump side. On the other side of K Street are the anti-Trump protesters going down Black Lives Matter Plaza down to the White House. And if we flip the camera around here, we're at the Capitol Hilton, and DC Fire EMS has multiple ambulances staging here just in the event more people are injured.
This one of several pop-up fights we've witnessed throughout the evening on the streets of D.C. Proud Boys heavily visible among the pro-President Trump crowd. Antifa and Black Lives Matter making up a sizable percentage of the anti-Trump crowd. The Capitol Hilton on 16th Street Northwest quickly became ground zero. There, Trump supporters belted out the national anthem and Christmas carols. Counter-protesters shouted back, "Whose streets? Our streets." There have been multiple arrests throughout the evening. D.C. police assisted this female officer as she limped her way outside of the counter-protest zone. The officer appeared to have tears in her eyes. Around 8 p.m., Trump supporters surrounded this car at Thomas Circle, accusing the driver and front seat passenger of being liberals because they were wearing masks inside the vehicle.
Did you get that hat on QVC?
2 hours earlier, this group harassed these Trump supporters, hurling insults and knocking hats off their heads. Outgoing D.C. Police Chief Peter Newsham made an appearance in the protest zone, taking questions on a night that has few answers.
And within the last hour, reports of multiple people stabbed in the area of Harry's Restaurant on 11th Street Northwest. I just made my way over to Harry's Restaurant and came back here minutes before we went live. We talked to eyewitnesses on the scene there. They confirmed they saw one man walking with stab wounds to an ambulance, a second man taken on a stretcher to an ambulance. They said this was a fight between Trump supporters and anti-Trump protesters. We'll continue to follow these updates as we march closer to midnight. We're live in Northwest. I'm Kevin Lewis, ABC 7 News.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much. And take a look. This was the scene earlier today as President Trump flew over his supporters in Marine One. He was on his way to the Army-Navy game in New York. Now, before things turned violent tonight, thousands of people showed up earlier in the day for a rally at Freedom Plaza. They were there to support President Trump's unfounded claims that the election is being stolen from him. 7 on your side's Annalisa Gale captured the sights and the sounds from that event.
I'm not an activist. I'm not an activist. I'm just a guy, I'm just a farmer. And what happened is wrong. And we're here to show support and get things right. Because the truth is the truth and the truth doesn't change. And there's too many questions.
Well, I just think the whole thing needs to be just stopped. Just stopped until everything is settled.
We drove all the way from Chicago, Illinois to come here to support our president.
Despite all the failed lawsuits, you're still feeling confident that that can happen.
I feel very confident that that's going to happen.
And we saw people traveling from as far as Michigan, some in buses, some who decided to roam throughout the city, even into the late hours following the rally. In Northwest Washington, Annalisa Gale, ABC 7 News.
And here is a live look at Black Lives Matter Plaza right now, where police have lined up there all day and all night. Now we have a photo gallery from today's protests and video from tonight's clashes right on the front page of our website. That's WJLA.com. All right, now let's take a live look outside again, this time at Georgetown after a wonderful day of weather across the DMV. Stormwatch 7 meteorologist Steve Rudin joining us right now. And Steve, it still looks like we could get some snow next week.
Yes, and as we head through the next several days, those chances are going to begin to increase. 56 degrees right now in Fairfax. Head over to Prince George's County in the middle 50s, 53 at Reagan National Airport. Some of you are seeing a few raindrops at this hour, nothing that is terribly heavy. Head over toward Fairfax, upper northwest D.C., into Montgomery County, over toward Rockville, and over toward Kensington. Once again, a few showers here and there, all part of a cold front that's eventually going to bring us cooler temperatures. Grabbing coffee tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the 50s. Coming up in a few minutes, going to tell you more about the chances for snow Monday and Wednesday.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. And right now, the CDC advisory panel says Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine should get the green light after the FDA approved emergency use of the vaccine overnight. Now, only the head of the CDC still has to sign off. But shipments are already being boxed up and could arrive to some states as soon as Monday morning. And as Britt Conway explains, this comes at a dire time as the U.S. is shattering records in the coronavirus pandemic.
A milestone in the fight against COVID-19.
11 in favor, 3 recused. The motion passes.
Saturday, the CDC's vaccine advisors voted to recommend Pfizer and BioNTech's vaccine to Americans 16 years and older, leaving it up to the CDC director to accept the recommendation. Sunday, Pfizer expects the first shipments of the vaccine to leave the Michigan facility. Then,
I expect the first shipments to arrive Monday morning. Extensive coordination will ensure that this occurs.
And by the end of the month,
our calculations believe that we're going to have 40 million doses.
But remember, advisors to the CDC have recommended healthcare workers and long-term care facility residents be the first in line. So what about everyone else?
So that's going to be up to the nation's governors as they prioritize within their states. But you should start seeing at points in February and March, general population vaccinations occurring.
And by April,
it will be, I guess you want to call it, open season in the sense of anyone, even the non-high priority groups, could get vaccinated.
But experts say about 70% of Americans will need to get vaccinated before we potentially reach herd immunity.
So we are looking at a long path until we can stop these basic public health measures.
Still, they're optimistic.
We see that there is hope on the horizon. Not today, not tomorrow, but it's coming.
I'm Britt Conway, reporting.
And here's what the DMV can expect once the first doses of the vaccine are shipped out. Maryland expects 155,000 doses. Virginia will get about 70,000, and D.C. expects nearly 7,000 doses. Again, those numbers are just for the first shipments. Now, all initial doses are expected to go to frontline healthcare workers. And you can stay on top of the latest developments on our website. We have posted tips you need to know before you get the shot, plus a closer look at the other COVID-19 vaccine candidates still in the works. You can find all that at WJLA.com/vaccine. Well, Fairfax County Public Schools says an increase in COVID cases across the county is now forcing Group 3 students to return to distance learning only. That starts on Monday. This impacts around 4,000 students, mostly special education and English language learners, leaving about 1,300 students still doing some in-person learning. Those are mostly career prep high school students or students with disabilities. Now, police have arrested the suspect who allegedly shot a D.C. man inside of a car with his baby still in the back seat. Now, the shooting happened Friday afternoon on 21st Street Northeast. Police tell ABC7 the man was shot multiple times before crashing his car into a utility pole. Police found his son in that car when they arrived. The baby was later reunited with his mother and was not hurt in that shooting or in the crash. And happening tomorrow, the Roslyn Holiday Inn is being imploded at 8 a.m. It's all to make way for a mixed-use development of apartments and hotel rooms. The implosion means a number of local road closures starting at 6:30 a.m., including part of I-66. Go to WJLA.com for a full list of those closures. Now, officials are encouraging you to avoid that area, but we'll be streaming the implosion on our website if you still want to catch it. And still to come, how the organizers behind a community Christmas party for deserving kids came together to make sure the pandemic didn't stop that big event from happening this year. Plus, a water main break leading to road closures. We'll tell you what experts say caused that break and how soon the entire road could be back open. Stay with us. Welcome back. 500 Prince George's County school kids will have a brighter Christmas thanks to the Cora Rice Christmas Party. The pandemic nearly canceled the event, but as ABC7's Justin Hinton explains, organizers say they were not going to let that happen.
Christmas came early for about 500 kids, all receiving gifts from the Prince George's County Police Department through the 37th annual Cora Rice Christmas Party for Deserving Children.
Normally we have a big Christmas event of 500 students at Roosevelt High School. This year, obviously, we have to do things a little differently, so we had to improvise, and we chose to do a book bag drive.
Happy holidays!
You too. School materials, winter gear, and a gift card from McDonald's fill the backpacks. Grandmother Rhonda Morrison grateful for any help, no matter how big or how small.
This is something that has been helping me for the last 3 years.
While you may not know her, you might remember her story. It was 3 years ago when 7 on Your Side reported 9 kids were abandoned by their mother in a van in the middle of December when temperatures were in the 20s. Morrison and other grandparents stepped in and took custody of the kids.
We're out of it now, and thank you, Jesus. I have help here with my 3 grandchildren that I have.
So this drive means so much more than what some people might imagine, and why the event couldn't be canceled. The event coordinator saying the community needs it. In Hyattsville, Justin Hinton, ABC7 News.
Great to see that. All right, now let's get a look at your forecast with Stormwatch 7 meteorologist Steve Rudin. And Steve, it looks like today's beautiful weather, and it was beautiful out there, could be in the rear view for a little while.
We have another nice day tomorrow, but a few showers are out there right now, Carl. But look at the high temperature today. Made it up to 63 degrees. Our average for this date stands at 48 degrees. And now the sun's been down for what? Over 5 hours. And we're still in the 50s across most of the DMV. 53 degrees this hour over in Cumberland. Here's Stormwatch 7 satellite and radar. A few showers now beginning to move into northern Prince George's County, over toward College Park, over toward Upper Marlboro and Andrews. Also inside the Capital Beltway, upper northwest D.C., over toward Tyson's, looking at a little bit of wet weather. It's not going to amount to a whole lot. It's not going to last terribly long, but once this moves on through, we are going to look for drier conditions on the way. Here's our forecast for the overnight: middle 40s to middle 50s, depending on your location. A little bit cooler off toward the north and west of town. Now, for the day tomorrow, we have plenty of sunshine, at least during the first part of the day, with added clouds later afternoon. Temperatures once again approaching that 60-degree mark, so well above average for this time of year. But changes are on the way. We're talking about not one but 2 big weather systems that will impact the mid-Atlantic over the coming days. Monday, 9 o'clock, looking at wet weather overspreading the metro area, looking at a wintry mix for Garrett, Allegheny, and Washington counties. Area of low pressure rides on off toward the north and east. A little bit of a lull for the day on Tuesday with colder, drier air overhead, brighter skies, but enough cold air in place thanks to Canadian high pressure to allow whatever falls during the day on Wednesday to at least start as a little bit of snow, at least for parts of the region. Heavier snow along the I-81 corridor, and we're likely to see weather alerts in the form of advisories, even some warnings over the coming days. We'll keep you updated. Here's our 7-day outlook from Stormwatch 7. Rain for the metro on Monday, mix of snow and rain off toward the north and west of us. Dry Tuesday, wintry weather likely on Wednesday. Cold and dry Thursday and Friday of next week.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Well, part of Rockville Pike in North Bethesda has reopened tonight after a water main break Friday morning. This was what the scene of the break between Strathmore Avenue and Nicholson Lane looked like yesterday. The water is back on, but one of the southbound lanes of Rockville Pike is still closed tonight as crews continue repairs. All right, let's turn to sports and check in with ABC 7's Olivia Garvey. Hey, Olivia.
Hey, Carl. Yes, we're talking about Washington football. They're prepping for their game against the 49ers tomorrow in Glendale, Arizona. And then, of course, our favorite day of the week. It was a full day of college football. We'll have all your highlights next. Stay with us.
And now, the Toyota Sports Desk, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers.
The Army-Navy game is so historic. It gives me chills every single season. I'm not the only one. I know that. The pre- and post-game events, watching the cadets and the midshipmen, watching their teams with so much honor and respect. And then, of course, waiting to see who is going to sing the fight song second after the game. So let's get to some highlights here. It was not the best day, not the best weather in West Point. Navy with chances all day long, and this was a slow game. Down on the goal line on 4th down, and Nelson Smith stuffed short of the touchdown. Army with the huge stand. Now later, Navy looking to just make something happen in this game when Xavier, our line, pitches to C.J. Williams and cannot control it. Army removes the fumble. Several plays later, Tahir Tyler runs 4 yards for the touchdown. Army shuts out Navy 15-0. It's a tough game. All right, let's get to some senior day action for Maryland hosting Rutgers. One senior had a bright moment. Jake Funk has had his ups and downs in College Park, but here was enough. He shoots right up the middle and just gets in for the touchdown. But no Talia Tungabailoa today, his teammate. He was held out of today's game, so Eric Nigerian steps in and played well. Here hits Brian Cobbs, who shakes out of the tackle and scores from 52 yards out. Terps lead it, but Rutgers battled all day long. And with time running out in regulation, Valentino Ambrosio hits the game-tying 39 yards out. Terps were so close. Now in overtime, Scarlet Knights hit a field goal and Maryland with a chance to respond. Nope. But Joseph Petrino misses a 51-yard try. Maryland falls 27-24, ending their season at 2-3. It was a tough season. Now they can look forward to 2021. All right, Sarah Fuller is at it again. The Vandy kicker, who also plays soccer at Vanderbilt, becomes the first woman to score in a Power 5 game. She did it not just once, but twice in Vandy's loss to Tennessee today, 42-17, making history all around, though. All right, an unfortunate situation in the Florida State basketball game today. SEC preseason player of the year, Keontae Johnson, just collapsed early in the game. They were coming out of a timeout, and celebrating when Johnson just suddenly collapsed. Like I said, the cameras did not show the incident, of course, out of respect, and his teammates were crying and praying, but decided to continue to play the game. Johnson was taken to the hospital and is said to be in critical but stable condition. And we hope he's okay. We haven't heard anything yet, but we do hope he's all right. All right, let's get to the NFL. The Washington football team is getting ready to play the 49ers tomorrow in Glendale, Arizona. I know it's weird, but the Washington football team will look to get their 4th straight win coming into tomorrow's game, beating the Steelers in a Monday night showdown. Washington has just been dominant. Alex Smith has really turned this team around and has made it a true fight in a very odd NFC East battle. Also odd, this will be the second time the Burgundy and Gold will play in Arizona this season, but this time, not against the Cardinals.
We're playing a completely different team. We're going in only this time because of scheduling and everything. We're only going in for a day. You know, we're coming in on Saturday. We're playing the game Sunday, and we're getting out. And we're staying at a different hotel. So the approach is a little bit different. And we'll see what happens. But again, like I said, you know, to me, is it interesting? Yes. Is it important? No. So let's don't make it, bigger than it is.
2020, Coach, 2020. All right, let's talk some NBA. We're talking about all the other sports. The Wizards had their last practice today before their first preseason game tomorrow against the Brooklyn Nets. Unfortunately, we will most likely not see newcomer Russell Westbrook and fan favorite Bradley Beal on the court just yet. We're going to see plenty of them in the season, but we will most likely be seeing some young newcomers like Wizards first rounder Denny Avdia and veterans like Robin Lopez in Brooklyn tomorrow. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
And we want to wish a happy 45th anniversary to the National Association of Black Journalists, founded here in D.C. They're celebrating virtually tonight. And if you look closely at this picture of their founders, you'll see ABC7 D.C. Bureau Chief Sam Ford in the bottom left corner. Former ABC7 anchor Maureen Bunyan was also a founding member. Thank you so much for fighting for black journalists across the country. All right, Stormwatch 7 meteorologist Steve Rudin joins us once again with another look at your weekend forecast.
Alrighty, Carl, we're looking at a warm day tomorrow. Temperatures lower 60s, at least warm for this time of year. Not going to last very long. Middle 40s with mainly rain on Monday. All eyes are focused on Wednesday. Areas of rain and snow. Could be accumulating snow for a good chunk of the DMV. More on that coming up tonight at 11. Carl?
All right, I know some people are happy about that. Thank you, Steve, and thank you for joining us tonight. We leave you right now with a live look near Black Lives Matter Plaza. Remember, you can get the latest updates on the protests around the clock at WJLA.com. Have a great night.